Well, this is one we've never talked about before, but hopefully you'll be able to contribute a little bit to this. Similar to the first question, I haven't got to the first question yet, but what is your songwriting process? What are some tips you have for writing kids songs, in brackets that aren't too cheesy? Okay, so...
I feel like I'm best qualified to
yes,
answer
I'd like
this
to jump in on this. I'll say this. I will say this about songwriting.
I only do cheesy ones. So
Only do cheesy?
I'm out.
Right. Do you know that famous song, I think I'm gonna throw up? Think I'm gonna throw up my hands and praise the Lord. Ever heard of that?
Wow.
That is the ultimate, I feel like.
Wow.
That's actually a song.
Yep. It's a true story.
Use that
I think
for
you
free,
can
guys.
I think I'm gonna throw up. I don't know where it came from. I've
From
just
the pit of someone's stomach.
True. So that would be an example. So again, it's a fun song for kids.
That is a fun song.
But it's definitely it's making a point. Definitely making a point somehow. There's a point in there. Songwriting is the trickiest, most difficult, the most intense, I think, creative thing you can do. Like you don't want to approach it lightly. Whenever you hear our songwriters talk about their songwriting process in church, that's always it's very there's something very deep about it, but also the reason it's so difficult is because so little of what you produce gets used. If we film an episode of the podcast, it's very rare that we go, oh, that wasn't good enough. Because we're just desperate to get podcast episodes out. If you're cooking,
Desperate.
Very rare.
Yes.
we just got to, we're on the train now.
Well, if this episode gets used, we'll know that the standard's quite low.
Where is the bar? If you're a cook and
Gotta
you're
have a
making
baseline,
cookies,
yeah.
you don't throw away too many of it. You might burn them every now and then, but you use most of what you produce. If you're an artist, you don't throw away too many of your... So what I'm saying is the output for songwriting is like such a low percentage of your work compared to your output. If you're really putting out stuff that is good, then you're only going to use a very, very small amount, maybe 1 in 10 of the songs you write. That's why it's so hard. Because other creative ventures...
I haven't written 10 songs.
Other creative ventures, is a higher... I'll say this is in other creative art forms... is a much higher output.
Yeah.
You don't throw away as much as you do in songwriting, which makes it very demoralizing.
Yeah.
So if you're okay with that, being demoralized, then go for it. So that's my first thought about songwriting. Yeah. Any thoughts on songwriting, Ben?
It's tough. I remember I had some mates. It's
close.
Almost Pepsi Max that board. I remember in high school I had some mates. We used to write songs and perform at some pubs, and we would just write them on the spot.
Right.
And they're still on YouTube, and they are horrible. They're absolutely so bad. And I was like, this is really tough. And I thought, I came to college originally to do like songwriting stuff.
Yep.
It is so hard. Like to understand, like one, get it theologically correct if you're doing a Christian song.
That's important.
Like that's very important. I love that at our church we have people that are checking over every lyric that's written to make sure it is sounds. That's really important. But
all of our kids' songs go through the same process as all of our growing up songs.
And like once you get even just past that stage, making sure making it sound good and people want to listen to it and engaging, like it's mind blowing. I've not been able to produce a song I even liked.
Right.
But listen to other people who they can get melodies off really well, but then they can't do lyrics that well, and then they write with someone else who can write words really well, but can't play an instrument to save their life.
Yes.